Hey. So this is about tips on how to get funded or simply what you possibly could be doing that is preventing you from getting funded. So, hi everyone, this is Celestina Onia Thomas, CEO and psychotherapist at Floating Counselling, as well as your business coach. So, Floating Counselling has been getting funded. The way we used to run our business was completely different, but COVID-19 came and I was like, you know what? It's time to switch it up. And then I switched it up, and you know what? We are getting funded right, left, and center. And then it occurred to me that actually there's a lot of people who are doing the same thing I am doing or quite similar, and they're not getting funded. And then I started to look at what they possibly could be doing that is preventing them from getting funded. So a few weeks ago, I sent a form from an organization that was giving money to companies that was giving out surplus food to their community, which is what Floating Counseling is currently doing. So I sent I've sent a few friends to let them know, oh, this is happening. I know you're giving out food, like I'm giving out food in my community. Why don't you go ahead and apply for this? Good luck, da da da. They didn't get it. And there's a few other companies in Croydon, because Floating Counseling is mostly based in Croydon. We're also supporting Lambeth and Southwark with food as well as emotional support. So I messaged them and a few other companies and organizations in Croydon that basically give surplus food and support the community with food. They didn't get it as well. So I am like, okay, let's stop. Let's take a breather. What did they not do, or what did they do that we didn't, that we got funded for almost £10,000 from one company? RAP funded us for almost £10,000. And what did we do that they didn't do? What did they do that we didn't do that we got the money and they didn't get the money? So in this video, I'm going to be giving you tips on what I have realized. I've studied it a little bit, not too long. I've studied a little bit to find out what they did, what they put in their application form, and what we didn't, or what we put in our application form that they didn't. So every funder is going to be different. Every funder is going to want something different. But the tip that I will absolutely give you is right now, you need to go for funders that are passionate about the same thing you're passionate about. So right now, I'm passionate about Black Lives Matter, the movement, not the organization. That's a whole different topic I'm not even going to go into in this video. The movement. Yes, the movement. And of course, what Floating Counseling's main priority right now is supporting the African and Black community. So I'm like, you know what? This is what I want to do. What company wants to support this? Well, guess what, guys? A lot of companies want to, because they realize that actually they're not really doing a lot for the Black community. So when I put in my application form for Black community, like, oh my God, yes, we need to tick boxes. I don't know if that's what they're thinking, but I'm assuming that's what they're thinking. Let's tick boxes. Let's tick boxes that at least we have funded the company that supports, that is Black led, and also is supporting the Black community. So that is one thing that I know that is definitely working in my favor, and I'm sharing it with you. Two, I'm still on one actually. Apart from finding an organization that supports what you are passionate about and what you are doing, you need to make sure you are reading the eligibility clearly. Clearly, guys, clear, crystal clear. So the funders, RAP, which by the way, they're still open, so you can still apply. They've also extended. It was 1 million they had, now it's 2 million. So that means every organization, the maximum they were given before was £10,000, but now they're giving £15,000. Go get it, guys. Go get it. So back to the topic, eligibility. A VAP only wants to fund, so this is just for VAP, but you can also put this tip to any other application you're applying for. VAP wants to only fund companies that are giving surplus food. Surplus food, guys, surplus food. They don't want you to be buying, they don't want you to tell them that you're buying it. They're not interested in the fact that you're buying it. They want to know you are saving the environment by giving food that otherwise would be going in the bin to the community that need food. Yes. Yes, guys. So if you're putting in your application stuff like, oh, we need this money because sometimes we don't get enough food, and then we'll need money to buy food, and we'll like you to fund us to buy food. That's what they'll do to your application. Be like, next. Because That's not what they want. And they've said that very clearly in the eligibility. Surplus food. So every funding application you're going to be filling in, make sure, guys, that you're reading the eligibility clearly. And if what they want is not what aligns with you and what you're doing, then just simply go for another company. Don't waste your time. Don't waste 1 hour, 2 hours, or 4 hours. Some application actually takes me about 4 to 5 hours. So I make sure I read the eligibility. So I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting their time. I can do something else with that time. So make sure, the second tip is make sure you read the eligibility. So even though it looks like I've only given you 2 tips, I've given you a whole bunch of tips. And of course, if you are Black or ethnic minority and you're watching this video, there's a lot of company that wants to hear from you. They want to hear that you are, the company you own is Black led. So use those tips. That's tip number 3. Use the word Black led. BAME led. Led. That you are the founder, and as a Black woman or as a Black man or as an African or a minority, these are words that you should be using, by the way. And these are another tips. So be using these words. Use them, guys. Use them. Apart from the fact that you should obviously zone in on the fact that you are an ethnic minority in England and in London and in surrounding areas, zoom in on that. The final thing that I would like to say is be clear. Yeah, be clear. Be like crystal clear what you are doing. Don't merge different things you're doing because they're going to be confused and they're going to think you're confused about what you're going to do with the money they're going to give you. So the example I'm going to give is, for example, Floating Counselling does counselling. We do business support. We also give food out to the community. In my application, when they say, what does your organization do? I'm not going to tell them we do counseling. If it's, for example, RAP application, which you know, is still on, so I'm going to zoom in on that a little bit. I'm not telling them how we do counseling and, you know, we give business support and then we give food to the community and then we give food to the homeless. They don't care about all that stuff. They don't care. That they're not bothered. They're not bothered. The only thing I put in the application form when they say, what does your organization do? We are passionate about supporting and empowering the community, and we do this. And one of the ways we do this is by supporting the community emotionally and giving them physical food, by giving them surplus food that we get from organizations. Yes, I put in emotional support because that is what counseling, Floating Counselling does, the priority. However, what they care about is what I have spent more time telling them we do. Physical food from surplus food that we get from other companies like Fair Share, CVA, Greggs, Aldi, M&S, and name them. So be specific. Don't complicate situation. Be crystal clear what you are going to do with the money they're going to give you. And also, you also need to make sure, so the final tip, I know I said the final tip before, but this is not the final tip. You also need to make sure that the things that you write, the things that you want the money for, when it's section of, you know, what you're going to spend the money on, make sure they're things that they're okay with. So for example, some companies do not want to pay money for staff. By the way, RAP does. We got money for staff with a RAP. Some companies do not want that. So don't bother wasting your time in putting, we really need this money because we would like to pay for staff and somebody to manage the volunteers and blah, blah, blah. Because again, they'll be like, no. Be specific, be direct, read the eligibility, and also zoom in on your ethnicity if you are ethnic. Don't say you're ethnic if you're not ethnic. Don't say your company is ethnic if it's not an ethnic company. Don't say your trustees are ethnic when they're not ethnic. Do not do that. Don't piss me off now, guys. Don't piss me off. Be good. Go grab that money. And by the way, if you have not joined my support, I don't know what you're waiting for, because you know what? This COVID-19 is disastrous to a lot of companies. But if you do food, if you're passionate about your community, if you're ethnic minority, Black, African, honestly, this is the time for you to be cashing in. This is the time for your business to be going zoom. Celestina checking out. Good luck.